Drive it to believe it. Nikon, we take the world's greatest pictures. And by Miller Lite, America's favorite light beer, brings you the Miller Lite All-Stars Super Bowl.
$13 to nothing. The New Orleans Saints lead the Buffalo Bills as we start the second quarter here in Rich Stadium. Crowd upwards of 70,000, but they did not sell out, mostly because New Orleans and many NFC teams are not a big draw up here, and the forecast wasn't that promising for the weather as well.
And my question for the guys running the tractors, why aren't they going down the middle of the field where the players are playing? There's a few wide receivers out there that are very, very grateful for the fact that they're clearing off 10 yards from the sidelines. But it has stopped snowing, so that's a good sign.
First down on the 42-yard line. The Bills start the second quarter, and they're going to try to go deep on the first play, and it's caught for a touchdown to James Lofton. yards. That's the way to get the Bills back in the game.
Well, I think Kelly saw where the traction was good out on the flank, and he throws a perfect pass to Lofton. His second catch for a touchdown for the Bills. And I hate to say it, but the old fella taught the youngster a thing or two on this. Watch the concentration, looking it in all the way, cradling it with his body, and a safe slide in the end zone.
James Lofton, the veteran that came over from the Raiders, had been with the Packers, 33 years old, like a coach on the field, according to Jim Kelly. And now Scott Norwood, who has clicked on 118 conversions in a row, will try to cut the lead to 6. John Kidd will hold for him.
Some type of discussion down on the field, and I have no idea what it's about. Looked like a touchdown to me.
After review by replay, the play stands 6 points.
They were looking to see if his feet were in the end zone. Well, he's not even close to being touched by Cook or out of the end zone. Easy call for the 6.
Doesn't hurt to take another peek, though, Dan. Anyway, here's Norwood.
I just hate the delays.
You've got a lot of company. And the kick is blocked and missed off to the left. So we've already had 2 missed conversions, and Scott Norwood's string of 118 in a row goes by the boards. And the Saints lead is 13-6.
He jumps the turnstiles here, gets in on Norwood, and blocks this one. Good determination, hit his right arm, and just deflected it wide.
Well, here's the NFC playoff summary. The Saints would be eliminated with a loss to the Bills, or if the Eagles win their game. San Francisco is in the best shape of all. Philadelphia with a tiebreaker over the Giants. Wild card, 9 teams are alive, and right now the Giants and the Rams lead at 9-4. We'll take a look at the AFC playoff situation. 642 possible scenarios.
And I want to hear them all from you.
All right, after the game, on the way to the airport. Here's the wild card story. Right now, the Cleveland Browns and the Raiders lead in the wild card race. Scott Norwood will be kicking off for the Buffalo Bills. Back deep, Ron Harris and Gene Atkins, Bobby Morse, 3 men back for the Saints. Harris is the man in the middle. Short kick, and it's going to be Morse at the 16. And Morse is down at about the 33-yard line by Matt Munger. So the Bills score 5 seconds into the second quarter on a 42-yard touchdown pass from Jim Kelly to James Lofton. They missed the extra point.
The very first play after they changed sides of the field, Kelly got the wind behind him, and he let rip with a perfect touchdown pass.
Saints start out on the 32-yard line. John Fourcade with 2 touchdown passes already. Rolling out, up the middle. The pass is caught by Eric Martin. And Martin carries a defender another 15, 20 yards inside the 35. Nate Odoms makes the stop at a 35-yard gain on a pass from Forcade to Martin.
And the Bills are in a zone defense here as Martin, number 84, comes down on the square in. Forcade has excellent protection again. Look at the hole in the defense. Sometimes you have to play conservatively when you have bad footing. The Bills went to the zone that time.
Martin, the leading receiver on the Saints. First down now on the 33 of Buffalo. Here's Dalton Hilliard going outside, and Hilliard will go out of bounds at the 29-yard line, pushed by Kirby Jackson and Leonard Smith in the Buffalo secondary.
Saints are playing outstanding football. You kind of wonder if they've got something against AFC teams because they have a 10-0 record last couple of years against the AFC. And Jim Mora, we talked about, he was a little defensive yesterday when we talked to him, but he said his team isn't going to quit. No time to panic. We're just trying to make some big plays. Big plays have gone against us all year long.
Second down and 6 and 5, that is, on the 29. Forcade dumps it off to Hilliard. Hilliard is driven back, will be short of a first down by about 3. Shane Conlon making the tackle.
Kirby Jackson and Shane Conlon make the stop.
And then one thing Jim Mora told us immediately yesterday, he says, you know, we may be 6 and 7, but that's not all that different than 8 and 5. That's a 2-game difference. And he says, I'm not going to let this thing get us down right now.
And those 2 games, if you go back just the last 2 weeks, that crushing loss to the Rams where they had a 14-point lead with 4 seconds to go really set up last week's loss to the Lions.
It'll be 3rd and 2, 3 tight ends for the Saints on the 26. Forcade, plenty of time, will run and get the first down and more, and is tackled inside the 15-yard line by Leonard Smith, but it'll be a Saints first down. And Forcade runs 13 yards and looks like a seasoned pro out there.
Well, this is really his element. He's played in the Canadian Football League. He's played in the USFL. He's played in the Arena League. He's even played flag football the last couple years. So this is an unstructured type of game today where anything can happen. Good athletic ability, running ability for Forcade here puts the Saints in excellent position.
Double tight end on first down on the 13. Wide receivers to the left. Dalton Hilliard hit at the line of scrimmage and wrestled down by Leon Seal. Well, where has John Forcade been? He's been in every league that's existed.
Well, he's been all league because he's played in all of them. But the arena football here was a chance for him to stay in shape and keep his hope alive of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. You got to give the man a lot of credit for battling through a lot of adversity. He's never been a number 1 quarterback. He's rarely been a number 2 quarterback. Right now, he's got the Saints moving.
He's 5 for 6. Came in having thrown only 17 passes all year. Second down and 10. He could run. He's got one man. That one man may get him. Passes, fires, tipped, dropped. Perriman might have been the man who had 2 chances to make a touchdown catch, and he couldn't do it.
I'm really impressed with the arm strength of Forcade. The coaches told us he had one, but they say that about almost any quarterback. But he put that ball right in Perriman's hands, and it appeared that Perriman had a chance to get the rebound. But watch how the offensive line protects Forcade just long enough, and now he spots Perriman on the goal line and lets rip. Ball bounced twice off of Perriman. But that is a tough blow. You got to wonder how many shots you can take like that outside the pocket.
3rd and 10. And Forcade will use up a timeout now as the clock ran down, had about a second left. So an alert move by John Forcade, who, by the way, is 29 years old, the same age as Bobby Hebert, who's sitting this one out. Saints lead and use up their first timeout. A kind of a game that previous results and statistics and tendencies just throw them away because the weather conditions here have changed all of the strategy. John Forcade, after calling a timeout, has a 3rd down and 10 on the 13. Out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. And he's hit from behind by Bruce Smith. No gain on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
That's one thing that the Saints coach is worried about with Forcade is would he stay in the pocket. That was the first pass that he has been asked to throw from the pocket. He got out of it as quick as possible. It looked like it was almost a quarterback draw.
Morton Anderson on to try a field goal attempt. Unable to convert on the first touchdown, and then was successful on the second. This will be a 31-yard attempt with John Forcade holding. And the kick is good. And Morton Anderson with his 16th field goal of the season, but a penalty marker is down. And now Anderson gives a second look to the field. And apparently it is against the Bills.
There's no way Jim Mora will take these points off the board.
I wouldn't think.
Excellent snap from Hilgenberg.
Offside, number 76, defense, decline. 3 points.
Brett Smerlis was offsides, and so the field goal by Anderson gives Jim Mora and the New Orleans Saints a lead of 16-6. Morton Anderson kicking off. Harmon and Beebe returning for the Bills, and this will be Don Beebe on the run. Dives forward, might have lost the ball, but recovers it if he did, and gets up to the 38-yard line. Well, next Saturday on CBS Sports, the NFL Today begins at 12 o'clock noon, and then the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. Then following that game, the season premiere of NCAA basketball, Joey Myers' DePaul Blue Demons against Dean Smith and the Tar Heels of North Carolina. That's at 3:45 Eastern. A big NFL football, college basketball doubleheader next Saturday on CBS Sports. First down for the Bills on their 37. Jim Kelly looking to throw on first down, goes up top. It's incomplete. Pete McKellar, the tight end, was the intended receiver. McKellar had caught a pass and then lost it into the hands of Pat Swilling on the first series to allow the Saints to get the touchdown, and now they've called a penalty against New Orleans, defensive penalty, and that'll be a first down.
Holding, number 56, defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Speaking of Pat Swilling.
Yeah, and what happens is it's so difficult to keep your balance and your footing on this field that if a guy's starting to go by you, you reach out and grab him, and that's what Swilling was called for.
It'll be a first down on the Bills' 42. Buffalo trailing 16-6. Kinnebrew up the middle. First man to hit him was Sam Mills. But it takes a couple of Saints to bring him down.
This is why the Bills went out and got Larry Kinnebrew for this type of weather. Late in the season here at home, you need a big fullback to sometimes take control of the ball game.
Now, you played for San Diego, and of course you wanted Miami, had trouble in Cincinnati. Do you think teams that play in the cold weather sites have a big advantage late in the year and in postseason?
No doubt. They're so used to it, having practiced in it all week, that when they come out here on Sunday, it's no different than it was on Wednesday.
Second down and 5. Kelly, Andre Reed, and he's wrestled down, but not before he picks up a first down into Saint territory by Robert Massey, and Reed picks up 9 yards.
Well, you feel the excitement that the crowd receives when Reed gets the ball in the open field. He is one of the better receivers in the league at running with the ball after the catch. But this time the footing just doesn't give it to him, and Massey stays with him and makes the tackle. But this crowd is used to seeing Andre Reed break some big ones. 9 touchdowns on the year.
And the 68 catches are tops in the AFC. Bills moving the ball, first down on the Saints' 44-yard line. Kelly to go to the air again, and this time a fine catch by McKellar and the tight end. grabs it and is stopped inside the 30. And a gain that time of 16. The linebacker, Vaughn Johnson, made the stop.
This is really an outstanding catch by McKellar. Remember, it was the ball bouncing off his shoulder pad early in the first quarter that was intercepted by Swilling. This is an all-hands catch right up top there. The big gloves with the tackiness on them, and he gets the big first down for the Bills.
Buffalo switching in the tight ends. McKellar goes out. Pete Metzelaars replaces him. And it's a first down on the New Orleans 28-yard line with 8:20 to go in the first half. Kennebrew, right up the middle, is stopped at the 24-yard line, so he picks up 4 on that play.
It appears the Bills have two types of offensive game plans. One when they're going with the wind at their back, and obviously one when they're going against that wind. Kelly has opened it up quite a bit since they've changed ends here in the second quarter. And when he does give the ball, Thurman Thomas hasn't seen it a whole bit. It's just been all straight power up the middle with Larry Kennebrew.
It has started to snow again. And a blowing snow all over the field. Second down and 6. On the 24, Kelly and Reed did not hold on. That'll be an incompleted pass. He was covered and hit by Brett Maxey, one of the nickelbacks for the Saints. Kelly had completed 5 in a row before that incompletion.
And that was excellent coverage by the Saints defensive backs there. Kelly had a lot of time to throw. Finally found his favorite receiver, but Brett Maxey was all over and popped that ball loose.
Third down and 6. Jim Kelly has thrown a touchdown pass in every game this season. And the pass bounces in front of the intended receiver, Flip Johnson, out of McNeese State in Louisiana, and that'll bring up 4th down. Scott Norwood will come in to try a field goal. Keep in mind the wind is at his back. Norwood will kick. Kidd will hold for him.
And what they're doing is they're clearing off a place for his plant foot, his left foot, so that it does not slip out from under him, so that he can drive through with enough leverage to get the ball to the goalpost.
This will be a 42-yard attempt. His longest has been 47 this year. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. It's a good kick. 42 yards. Helped by the wind. And Jim Mora and the Saints have seen their lead now cut to 16-9.
Well, this was really stretching the limits of Norwood here. Perfect snap from Lingner. Perfect hold from his punter. And this is a shot on goal.
He shot and he scored.
Nothing to it. Yeah. These people aren't right here in Buffalo. We've seen the parasols in New Orleans.
And there are others that just want to sit and try to stay warm. We're at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, a suburb of Buffalo, as the Bills trying to win a game and hope that Miami loses tonight against New England. If that combination occurs, the Bills will win their division title. Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts here. But right now the Saints lead at 16-9. They have led all the way in this game, and we have 7.5 minutes to go in the first half.
And aside from the 2 turnovers in the first quarter that the Bills gave the Saints, this has been a well-played football game. Quarterbacks throwing well, receivers making catches, and the kickers putting the ball through the uprights.
7 plays, 39 yards. Norwood's 42-yard field goal. So each field goal kicker has connected, and each one has missed the conversion. Not entirely because of their fault. Rod Harris is in the middle. There are 3 men back for the Saints. Bobby Morse is on the right. It'll be Harris at the 5. And Harris with a return out past the 25-yard line. Carlton Bailey making the tackle for Buffalo.
It'll be first down to Orleans.
So the Saints working against the wind with 7:19 to go in the first half. The Eagles up ahead of Dallas, 14-0. Minnesota leading Atlanta. Vikings tied with the Packers for the lead in the NFC Central, but the Packers trail Kansas City 7-0. Chicago, they're really mired in a big slump. First and 10 on the 26. And slipping back there is Hilliard, and a loss of about 5. Bruce Smith made the easy tag for Buffalo.
Well, it's about as easy a tackle as Bruce Smith will ever get credit for, as Dalton Hilliard is just right on the ground waiting for him. Nothing to it.
It'll be 2nd and 15. Bills normally use a 3-man front, but because of the conditions have gone with 4 men up front throughout this game. 2nd down and 15. Forcade will get sacked. Back near his 10 by Bruce Smith. Nine and a half for Smith.
Yeah, and this is about as easy as he'll get one, as this is a big mismatch for the Saints. Kevin Haverdink, a rookie working against an all-pro here. One push, and he's gone right on Forcade. Don't look for the Saints to have Forcade in the pocket with Haverdink blocking Smith one-on-one.
Loss of 8 yards will bring up 3rd and 23 for the Saints. Ball is on their 14. High snap bobbled by Forcade. He's in trouble. Fires it downfield to Perriman. And Perriman makes the catch as he wrestles it away from Mark Kelso and makes the play for a 41-yard gain for the New Orleans Saints on a big play for New Orleans.
You know, the Saints have seen other teams do this to their secondary all year long, especially in the last couple of weeks. Watch Forcade. He wants to run this ball at first. Now he looks up and sees Perriman way down the field, and you got to have a little luck in this game and a little bit of talent. Perriman appears to just rip the ball away from Kelso, and Forcade takes another shot. This one from Timmy Cofield.
Perriman with 2 big catches today. And now they're going to call another timeout, the second one. But Forcade has completed 6 of 8 passes, 159 yards, and 2 touchdowns already in this first half in this weather.
And his strength really is this type of game. He's a freelance type of guy that doesn't have a whole lot of discipline that a quarterback like Hebert has. But what he can do is make something happen. That's Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator there, talking to him. And Carl, when I asked him earlier in the week his thoughts about starting Forcade, he says, well, it's really a long shot, but we're not afraid of John Forcade. We're not afraid of his abilities. He's got the ability to throw the ball well on the run. He's shown that so far today.
Told us he didn't get much sleep. He's been looking at the film, which he normally likes to do anyway, getting to bed at 2, 3 in the morning, a lot of hours looking at film.
A lot of catch-up time there. Not a whole lot of film study for the backup quarterback, but he has done his homework very well this week.
41-yard gain, and the Saints, using their second timeout, have a first down on the 45 of Buffalo.
They're waiting for the tractor to get off the field down here in the end zone.
That might have been Forcade's pattern.
Actually, well, we got 2 tractors. This is a tractor prevent.
Go to the tractor, cut around behind, and I'll loft it over the big car.
I always wanted to come to Buffalo in December to see a tractor pull.
You're seeing it.
And they won't come off the field.
He probably said, I have a job to do, and I was told to clear off the end zone, and I'm going to clear it off.
Yeah, I went to Buffalo to a tractor pull, and there was a football game right in the middle of it. Ruined the whole day. He must be getting paid by the sweep.
And he'll be back. First and 10 on the 45. Martin, the one receiver to the top of your picture. Hilliard picks his spots and still going. And Hilliard has run out of bounds. Came close to getting first down yardage. Leonard Smith, the former Cardinal, made the play out of bounds.
One real good battle today is down in the pit between number 67, Stan Brock of the Saints, and 72, Art Still. Watch Still get through here and almost make the tackle in the backfield, as he is now working down inside against Trapillo. And sometimes you get unlucky. You get through clean, and the guy like Dalton Hilliard goes right by you.
Still with his first NFL interception, the 12-year veteran against Seattle last week. Second down and 2, the ball at the 37. 3 tight ends for the Saints. They go up the middle to Hilliard. And it's all in the forward progress. He appears to have made the necessary yardage just inside the 35. Art Still and Ray Bentley were there to try to stop it. And it is a first down for the Saints. 4:15 remaining in the first half. 16-9. Saints lead the Bills. Miami, and of course, even if Miami were to win, if Buffalo wins this game, they will eliminate both the Patriots and the Colts from their division title hopes.
One of those 642 scenarios, huh?
Just gave you one. Play fake for Cade. Finds Hilliard. And Hilliard did a great job just holding on to the ball when he was hit by Darryl Talley.
We'll see a lot of zone defense from both teams today. Talley is number 56 here. Watch as the linebackers just drop back after they see the fake. And now they're going to be in their responsibilities. Talley's responsibility is the throwback to the halfback. And boy, he just creams Hilliard. How did Hilliard stay on his feet?
They lost a yard or so on the play. We call it second down and 12. Loss of 2. Back to the 36-yard line. Forcade's pass is caught on a slant in by Eric Martin inside the 20, and a gain of 17 yards and a Saints first down. Cornerback Kirby Jackson makes the tackle.
This is Eric Martin, number 84, on the slant pattern as Tice runs the quick out, and the linebackers aren't out there quick enough to give Kirby Jackson any help. But again, a fine throw from John Forcade.
Keep in mind, the ball on the 19-yard line. Forcade with almost a Hail Mary throw and a great catch by Perriman to get him out of deep trouble. On first down on the 19, Hilliard will go out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Kirby Jackson chased him.
You know, the big play has haunted the Saints all year long, especially the big pass play. Well, already today, you just mentioned that 41-yarder to Perriman, but let's go back to the 54-yard catch and run for Dalton Hilliard. So what Forcade has given this ball club is the big play, something that they have lacked all year long.
Second down and 8. That's Martin in motion. Pressure. Getting rid of it in a hurry. An alert play by John Forcade. And storming in was Shane Conlon. But Forcade showed good presence of mind, and shaken up right now is Hobie Brenner, the Saints tight end.
Well, Hobie Brenner, this could really, this looks like it's a shoulder, but Forcade was mad that Shane Conlon dusted him off a little bit too hard after he got rid of the ball as he came on the blitz.
2:23 remaining in the first half. It'll be third down and 8. Brenner will come out of the game. There's Greg Scales, who joins John Tice in a double tight end alignment for the Saints. Big pitch, and Forcade goes down, and that's Matt Man, Shane Conlon again with a sack. Second of the game for Buffalo.
Well, he almost got to him on the play before when Forcade dumped the ball. This time, number 58, Shane Conlon, comes on the blitz again. And this is an outstanding tackle as Forcade tries to pull a little magic out of there and get away, but Conlon had him wrapped up.
It is 4th down. Saints are in Bills country, but they lead it 16-9. We're going to wind down to the 2-minute warning before Morton Anderson tries the field goal attempt. So a chance to think it over and a timeout with 2 minutes to go in the first half here in Buffalo.
Extra strength Thomas E.F.
That's the wind. 15 to 25 miles an hour, and a 41-yard attempt into the wind by Anderson. Wonder if the Bills are thinking there might be a fake attempt by the Saints. Holding is Forcade, the quarterback. It is no fake. The kick is woefully short, and it's no good. Didn't have much of a chance, did it? Now they make sure they go over to the ball to make sure it can't be run back.
Well, this ball had to seem like it had to be an 80-yarder for Morton Anderson. Just no way. Kicking right into the teeth of the wind. But Jim Mora had to go for it. I mean, you can't send your punter out there and have them punt the ball 10 yards to pin them down in the deep in their own end. Good try from Anderson there, but that's just an impossible shot.
Ball never did get into the end zone, and of course the Saints had to make sure the Bills wouldn't try to anything funny and try to bring it back. So it's 1st and 10 at the 24 for Buffalo. Jim Kelly working out of the shotgun with 1:55 to go in the first half. Flicks it out to Thurman Thomas, and Thomas picks up close to first down yardage. Vaughn Johnson way back, the linebacker making the stop. Hurry up offense for Buffalo.
Well, the Bills have 3 timeouts, and this is a situation that has really been troublesome for the Saints, defending against the pass in these must-pass situations.
Playing the prevent defense of the Saints. Kelly going underneath, completes it again to Thomas. He's got another first down. The ball caught at the 43, and now the Bills will use one of their 3 timeouts remaining. We'll take a break. 1:20 to go in the first half. 16-9 the score. 1st and 10 following a timeout. Jim Kelly's pass in and out of the hands of Flip Johnson. 1:16 showing on the clock. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Robert Massey, the rookie cornerback who has been tested early and often this season and has 5 interceptions, was defending. Kelly with a pump fake. And the only man he could go to was Flip Johnson again, out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:09 showing. And they are about 4 yards away from first down yardage and haven't reached midfield yet. They're at the 48-yard line, their own 48.
And Kelly's going right to the line of scrimmage, although we have the clock stopped. Why not go back to the huddle?
Kelly dumps it off this time to Ronnie Harmon. Harmon will have the first down, out of bounds into New Orleans territory. Knocked there by Gene Atkins, a gain of 10, and it stops the clock.
Now this is a situation that all quarterbacks love, because number one, they get to call all the plays. They don't have to wait for any signals, and maybe that's what Kelly's doing. He's just getting at the line of scrimmage and audibly.
First down on the Saints 43. Just trying to hold on to the ball, runs for it, and is down at the 24 by Frank Warren, and now Buffalo will use up another timeout. They have 1 left, 52 seconds to go, and the Bills making the most of this last couple of minutes. 52 seconds to go in the first half. The Bills have the ball on the 34-yard line of the Saints. 2nd down and 2. 3 wide receivers for Jim Kelly. Going deep, open. Thomas, incomplete. Thurman Thomas has the ball jarred away. Dave Waymer was back there, along with Gene Atkins. But he was open for a while.
Yeah, a really well-designed play as Thomas is well behind Atkins. Outstanding job from Dave Waymer coming over and stripping that ball away just in time. Old pro Dave Waymer.
Moved to safety from cornerback this year. He's used to this kind of weather, having played it at Notre Dame. On 3rd down and 2, Kelly to Ronnie Harmon. And he's hit by Waymer defending again, and that'll bring up 4th down. So the Bills' attack just fizzled now, and Kelly looks to the sidelines to see whether they want to go for it on 4th down.
And if you do, what kind of play are you going to call? Quarterbacks don't like to call these plays. If they were to go for a field goal, it would be about a 51-yarder. And even with the wind at Norwood's back, that would be pressing his limit.
41 seconds remain in the first half. 4th down and 2. The ball is at the Saints 34. On 4th down. Up the middle, the pass is caught. Andre Reed apparently has the first down, and Brett Maxey defending. It is a first down. 33 seconds remaining, and Buffalo will use up its last timeout of this first half. Arv Levy would like one more shot at the scoreboard before the end of this half, trailing 16-9.
And he's also pleading to see if he can get one of those extra timeouts that those
Jerry
officials,
Glanville
that the Houston Oilers got last week against the Steelers. But no dice here today. He's going to have to earn this one. Good job of Jim Kelly moving that offense down the field as he used a lot of audibles there. He almost knew, speaking of predictability, that on that 4th and 2, where he was going to go with that ball. He's going to go to his number 1 guy, Andre Reed.
Well, you wonder if he's going to go back to him, because the 33 seconds to go, he's on the 31-yard line, and they still could try a field goal. They're going to have to stop the clock some way, though, before they would try a field goal. So do you go for the money now or what?
I'm almost wondering if they could run that play to Thurman Thomas again. He was so wide open. That would not be a bad call to come back to.
1st and 10 on the 31. Kelly, nowhere to go, fires over the head of Thurman Thomas. The receivers were covered, or at least not moving, and now 25 seconds remain.
Well, Kelly really got away with one here. That ball should have been picked off by Toy Cook, but it just kind of sailed over his head and on and beyond the outreached grasp of Thurman Thomas. Kelly was hit as he got rid of it.
11th play of the drive coming up. Second down and 10. And Kelly having trouble finding a receiver. This was intended for Reed, but also Flip Johnson was in the neighborhood. It'll go incomplete in 3rd down, coming up with 19 seconds left.
And the problem here now is that if Kelly were to throw a pass where the receiver can't get out of bounds, will they have enough time to get up to the line of scrimmage and kick a field goal, or get up to the line of scrimmage and throw the ball away to stop the clock? The other problem is if he doesn't get enough yardage for the first down here, they're going to have to go for the field goal. So can you get them on fast enough?
James Lofton is in the game. He caught the touchdown pass earlier. 3 wide receivers. Kelly on 3rd down going for Andre Reed. Incomplete. Defended on the play by Milton Mack. And that'll bring up 4th down. The Bills have had their chances here in the waning seconds.
Well, and Kelly ran off 12 plays in about a minute and a half, and that's outstanding for a 2-minute offense.
So Norwood will try a long field goal attempt, but he's going to have the wind at his back. This will be a 48-yarder, which would be his longest this season.
Well, if I were the punter there, John Kidd, I'd bring a broom out with me and put some bristles under my shoe.
We'll bring out the truck again. The kick is good. The line drive kick just makes it over the crossbar. And Scott Norwood with a 48-yard field goal, his longest of the year, brings the Bills to within 4 points. 16-12. The Saints still lead.
A lot of wind behind this kick, but that's perfect form, and there's a bullseye on the tractor. Almost came back through.
Second field goal of the game for Scott Norwood. Both have been long attempts, 42 and now 48 yards.
And he's over the 100-point mark on the year.
8 seconds remain in the first half. The Bills have never led in this game as the Saints scored 2 early touchdowns, taking advantage of 2 Buffalo turnovers and led 13-0.
How do you figure that the kickers can kick so well in conditions like this? Tremendous concentration. And of course, when you're going with the wind, it makes you that much more confident.
Talked about Jim Kelly and how many plays. He got 13 plays off in 1 minute and 48 seconds. He came away with 3. Here's Norwood getting set to kick off, doing some house cleaning. Back deep for the Saints. Rod Harris, Gene Atkins, and Bobby Morse. Harris is in the center.
Well, this field has held up very well today. The traction appears to be improving as the snow has stopped.
Saints have won 10 in a row against AFC opponents. That's the longest string by any NFC club against non-conference opponents.
I always wonder about kickers that wear 2 different brands of shoes. You see the Nike and the Adidas here. Does that mean he has 2 different endorsement contracts?
I don't know, but we got a couple of plugs in there here in the first half. Dwight Drain was holding for Norwood. Morris returning the kick. And no time remains, and so even if Morris had fumbled, it's not going to do the Bills any good as the first half has come to a conclusion. So an unusual first half, as you might expect because of the weather, a lot of missed kicks. But it's Saints 16, Bills 12 at halftime.
In Foxborough, Massachusetts, and they had an outstanding day against the Patriots and won that game easily.
The delay is because they're finishing off clearing the field, and as you could tell, they finally have cleared the field entirely. We did not have any snow till about an hour before the game, and then it was a light dusting, and then the snow came down a bit heavier and covered the field. But now it is totally clear, to the delight of the athletes, I'm sure. And Scott Norwood getting set to kick off against the wind.
Interesting that the Bills have decided to defend the goal where they'll be kicking into the wind and save the wind for the fourth quarter when they'll have it at their back.
Rod Harris, Gene Atkins, and Bobby Morris. You saw a glimpse of the 3 men back for the Saints. Harris is the man in the middle. Gene Atkins lets the ball get through him. I don't believe he touched it. That means it's a free ball, and it means Buffalo may have it at the 2. They do. Mickey Sutton. The ball went right under the legs of Atkins.
This is Atkins. Ball went right between his legs. Dwight Drain, number 45, has a chance to pick it up on the run, but Atkins swats it away from him. And now Mickey Sutton, look what I found right underneath me on the 1-yard line.
Lo and behold, they clear the snow off the field, and the Bills get a big break here. The ball is on the 2-yard line. Mickey Sutton with the alert recovery. And Buffalo has a 1st and goal with 3 tight ends, Metzelars, McKellar, and Butch Rawls, looking to take their first lead of the game. And the give is to Thurman Thomas, who gets to the 1.
You know, they may have cleared off this field, but it appears that it's gotten icier as the afternoon's gone on, because the tight end, we had a tight end in motion on that play, and he slipped as he was coming out of his stance. So on 2 consecutive plays, we've seen players lose their footing.
This is a bonus for the Buffalo Bills, who knew that they were going against the wind here in the 3rd quarter, getting it in the 4th. Now they have a 2nd and goal. The ball still at the 2-yard line. And a play-action pass. Kelly looking for anyone. Close. Touchdown. Metzelars, the tight end. third touchdown pass of the year, second of the game for Kelly.
And there was a penalty against the Saints that's declined. Look at all the time that Kelly has, and now he picks out a guy that's 6'7" to throw the ball to, and like dumping it into the low post to Pete Metzelaars for the touchdown.
Second touchdown catch of the year. And the Bills lead for the first time, and Scott Norwood will try to extend it to 3 points. And less than a minute into the second half, Pete Metzelaars on the receiving end of a 2-yard toss by Jim Kelly. The Bills lead the Saints now, 19-16. Kelly with a 2-yard flip to Pete Metzelaars to give the Bills a 19-16 lead, their first of the game. And now Scott Norwood will be kicking off for the second time in this first minute of play of the third quarter. Ron Harris in the middle. Nearest to you is Gene Atkins, who mishandled that kickoff, and Bobby Morse to the far right.
And you notice the return men have come all the way up to the 15 and to the 20-yard line, because that's about as far as Norwood's last kickoff went before the wind just slammed it and pushed it straight down.
Short kick, and it's going to be Ron Harris. Harris is stopped just beyond the 30-yard line, and that's where the Saints take over.
Take a look at the touchdown. On the left side of the screen here is Metzelaars and Ricky Jackson. Watch Ricky Jackson tackle Metzelaars as he comes off the line of scrimmage. That was the penalty right there. Now Kelly looking all around for somebody. Metzelaars fights to get up, and Kelly puts the ball where he had to for the 6.
And a great fake to Thurman Thomas on the handoff. So let's see how the Saints answer this one. 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line. 3 tight end alignment. Hilliard. And Hilliard, as he's done all season long, finding the open spaces and making the most of them. Gets close to the 40-yard line. Gain of about 6. $30 yards on 13 rushes today for Hilliard. The 4th New Orleans Saint to gain over 1,000 yards in a single season.
Talking with his fine offensive tackle Stan Brock yesterday, he says that's a measure of a good offensive line, is how many 1,000-yard rushes you block for.
Second down and 3, they gave him 7. Hilliard will get the necessary yardage and then some, and will bring the ball just to midfield for a Saint first down. 11 yards that time for Hilliard. Darryl Talley and Kirby Jackson made the tackle for the Bills.
Let's check out Stan Brock, number 67 here, working against the linebacker with a double team from Hobie Brenner. Good sign that Brenner's back in the game. Great push off the line of scrimmage as Hilliard had a lot of room to run.
First down at midfield. Again, it's Hilliard. Not that time. Stopped for no gain by Art Still. Here are the men who have gained 1,000 yards for the New Orleans Saints. Chuck Muncie did it once, George Rogers twice, Reuben Mays 3 years ago, and now Hilliard.
And Hilliard, although not the same size as some of those big guys, what he does have is outstanding balance and the ability to cut back. So far this second half, we've seen the Saints offensive line come straight off the ball, and Hilliard just hitting right up in the middle.
Second down and 10. Forcade has time. Penalty marker down. And the pass intended for Eric Martin is ruled incomplete. Covering on the play was Mark Kelso, but there's a flag down. It'll be defensive holding against Buffalo, and that'll be an automatic first down.
It appeared it was Kirby Jackson.
Holding, number 47, defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Kirby Jackson would like to have an appeal with the mic on.
I'm not so sure that's such a good idea. But he was holding Eric Martin coming off the line of scrimmage. And he got caught.
Saints moving the ball, trailing 19-16. Have a first down just inside Buffalo territory. Forcade on the slant pass to Perriman. And Brett Perriman still moving inside the 15 as the Bills try to tear it away from him. And is finally down at the 11-yard line, but not before Brett Perriman picks up 33 yards on that slant-in pattern.
Well, Forcade is showing me a lot in this ball game. He's going to see the blitz from the outside here. Leonard Smith is coming on the safety blitz. And his read is to go right now to the slant. There's Smith, number 46. And this is what Saints fans have been dying to see for a long time, is Brett Perriman loose in the secondary.
Nate Odoms and Ray Bentley on the stop. 3 catches for 89 yards for Perriman. First down on the 10. Forcade being chased. And his pass hits a Buffalo defender. It is incomplete. Leonard Smith was defending on the play against the tight end Hobie Brenner, who was shaken up in the first half, but back in there now.
Mora has to be extremely pleased with the way his ball club was played today. He said, you know, there's no reason to panic. We have a good program here in New Orleans. We have done a good job. The problem is we have not been able to prevent big plays or make them on offense. Well, today, at least half of that, they are making the big play thanks to their quarterback, John Forcade.
And he assured us, he says, we're going to play hard tomorrow, I'll tell you that. Second down and 10. Hilliard gets to about the 8. That's where his forward motion should be. Shane Conlon, the first man to get to him. But you're right about Forcade. 4 of his 9 completions this afternoon have been for 33 yards or more. So he has given the big play look back to the Saints.
You know, every time that Dalton Hilliard gets the ball and he's not tackled, it turns into like the rugby scrum. Here he's right in the middle. All the Bills are trying to push him one way. The Saints offensive line gets in there. They're pushing the other way. This is tough on the officials to determine when his forward progress is stopped, where they're going to mark the ball.
Third down and 8. They can get a first down without scoring. Craig Hayward is the lone back, and Forcade will use up a timeout. Not a bad idea in a close game like this when you have a chance to score.
But the problem is that you cannot afford in a close game like this to not have timeouts at the end of the ball game. This is 3 times today now that Forcade has been forced to call timeouts because the play clock is run down. Now, whether that's his fault for not being able to read the signal fast enough to get the play called, or if there's some problem on the sidelines with getting the signal into him. But this is something they have to correct now, because this is a game that may be decided by a field goal.
But then again, you don't know how many more chances and times the Saints are going to be in this position either. But you're right. Toward the end of the game and toward the end of the half, and we saw what happened when the Bills, when they managed to get 3 on the board before the end of the first half because they had the full complement of timeout.
Well, you can go a long way in a little bit of time if you have the ability to stop the clock. Easiest way, of course, is with the T signal. Although we saw in Dallas last week the smaller case T signal, which wasn't really a timeout signal, cost the Cowboys perhaps the game against the Rams.
He was signaling for a formation. But it was like an H, not a T, and they charge him with the last timeout. Meanwhile, it's third down and 8. Forcade looking to run. Looks to find anyone, and the pass, penalty marker down, nearly intercepted. It was intended for Craig Hayward out of the backfield, and Leonard Smith was defending, and we may have a pass interference call or a push.
No, what it is the Saints had an offensive lineman downfield.
Okay.
They had no idea what Forcade was doing back there, running around for his life.
Almost ran into his own lineman blocking for him.
And almost got the completion. They'll decline it.
Ineligible downfield. Number 61, offense, decline. 4th down.
Hilgenberg, the center.
That's really one of the problems that the offensive line has with a quarterback like John Fourcade, because they really are never sure what John's going to do. If he's going to sit in the pocket and throw the ball, or if he's going to scramble around as he did that time.
Morton Anderson connected on a 31-yard field goal. This will be from 26 yards. Fourcade holding, and the kick is good. And we have a tie game. So in a weird game with inclement weather, 13-0 Saints. Then Buffalo came back to take a 3-point lead, and now we're all even with 10:02 remaining in the third quarter. Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, on a cold, wintry December Sunday. We've had some snow. Field has been cleared of it. We're all tied at 19. Saints and the Bills, and Morton Anderson getting set to kick off for New Orleans. Ronnie Harmon and Don Beebe to return. The kick sails into the end zone for a touchback. And the Bills will start from the 20-yard line. Next Saturday, the NFL Today at noon, and then the Cowboys and Giants.
The Giants have a tough one this afternoon against the Broncos, where the weather is very similar to the way it is here today. A little bit of snow in Denver.
And then the season premiere of college basketball, DePaul and North Carolina from the Dean Dome at 3:45 Eastern. That's next Saturday on CBS Sports. Jim Kelly bringing out the Bills 1st and 10 from the 20. 9:56 to go in the third. Thurman Thomas going outside. Penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. We'll have a holding penalty, I think, against Buffalo. Dave Waymer made the stop, but it'll be against Buffalo. Bills coming into the game 6-1 at home.
Holding number 28, offense, 10 yards, still first down.
Larry Kinnebrew, the fullback.
Well, and this is Pat Swilling. He's the guy he pulls down, number 56. Swilling coming on the blitz here. And that's a necktie tackle.
Kinnebrew's a big fella. First down and 20. We go to Thomas again. Hemmed in at the sideline and knocked out of bounds. Short of the 15-yard line by Vaughn Johnson, who didn't have to worry if you talked to Vaughn Johnson yesterday whether he was primed for this clash today.
He is a classic middle linebacker type. I mean, he prayed for weather like this today. He even would like to have had it snow more, where there was no way that they could throw the ball. He wants to get in on every tackle for a couple of reasons. First of all, he likes the physical part of it, but he also wants to build his tackle stats up.
Said, I like playing Buffalo. They like to keep the ball on the ground. It's my kind of team. Second down and 16. Kelly to throw. McKellar, the tight end, crunch but makes a fine catch close to the 40-yard line, and a gain of 24 yards, a first down. McKellar on the catch. Dave Waymer made the tackle.
Now, this is why Vaughn Johnson would like to see them run every down. Here he's got coverage on the tight end, Keith McKellar. Nice out and up move by McKellar. Perfect throw from Kelly. And Dave Waymer has to come over and help out. That's what he was talking about. Hey, let's run the ball. Forget this passing stuff.
He's probably sorry it isn't snowing anymore. First down, Bills on their 38-yard line. Two tight ends. Kelly with a play fake. Kinnebrew was wide open, and the throw just led him a little bit too much for an incompleted pass. Second down.
One of the real problems for any quarterback, not so much the cold today, but the wind. Watch how this ball will get out of its spiral. Once it's out of its spiral, the wind will take care of it and make it sail on the quarterback. Kelly has a strong arm, but the most important factor for a quarterback throwing the ball today is just throw a spiral. Only way to cut it through this wind.
Bills on their 38. On the draw. Thomas gets thrown back by James Gethers, but they'll give him the forward motion and a pickup of maybe a yard on the play. That'll bring up third and long for the Bills. Three wide receivers come in for Buffalo. Flip Johnson, and Don Beebe joined their ace, Andre Reed.
The others did a nice job there of delivering Thomas to the referee. Did you see that?
Here he
Took
is.
him all the way back. Here you're blowing the whistle. Here's why.
They bring Thomas into the slot. Ronnie Harmon is back there out of the shotgun. Kelly on third down. Pass. Harmon is knocked away, and a fine defensive play by Toy Cook, who just batted the ball out of the hands of Andre Reed now. Reed was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Watch Pat Swilling, number 56, coming on the rush against Wolford, and Wolford just reaches out with his right hand and grabs him, or Swilling might have had a sack there. And then the real tight coverage from Toy Cook, that might have been called pass interference. It appeared he had his right arm on Reed's back.
John Kidd will be punting on fourth down. Bobby Morse is deep for the Saints. 8:06 remaining in the third quarter. High kick. Morse at the 30. I did not see a fair catch call, but he stopped at the 31-yard line. Mark Pike made sure he wasn't going to go anywhere if he did not call for the fair catch.
First and 10 New Orleans.
Saints take over in a tie game here in Buffalo. Mora, who led his team to a 12-3 mark 2 years ago, 10-6 last year, and right now 6-7. Would like nothing more than to finish the season 9-7. Respectable record indeed, though disappointing to what the Saints might have expected. New Orleans has a first down on their 31-yard line. John Forcade up the middle, completes the pass to the tight end John Tice. Picks up about nearly 9 yards that time, and Scott Radisick, playing in place of Cornelius Bennett, makes the stop.
The big play has hurt the Bills secondary, so you're going to see him playing in a zone here as the safeties, Thompson, or Smith and Kelso, are just splitting the field in half and letting the linebackers and the other corners work underneath.
Second down and 2. Pitches to Dalton Hilliard. He'll have the first down. Continues his tremendous performance. Dalton Hilliard brought down by Darryl Talley. Leonard Smith also in on the stop. 49 yards today on 17 carries for Dalton Hilliard, who came in the game as the third leading rusher in the conference. 29 behind Barry Sanders, the leader. But Sanders is having a big day for the Lions.
And, you know, when you talk to people like Stan Brock about Dalton Hilliard, they say he's such a quiet, unassuming guy. You would never think he would be as tough a runner as he is.
First down for the Saints on their 43. 6:40 remaining in the third quarter. Craig Hayward is in the game, and the deep pass overthrown, intended for Perriman. Covering on the play was Kirby Jackson. And talked about Sanders, 95 yards and 2 touchdowns for Barry Sanders of the Lions today. Philadelphia is winning. If they win their game, it doesn't matter what the Saints do. They'll be eliminated from any playoff hopes.
Minnesota will play Cleveland next week. A good battle there. Look at Green Bay and Kansas City. Kansas City has to be the surprise of the AFC. Great job by Marty Schottenheimer.
And Detroit behind Sanders, leading Chicago 24-10. Second down and 10 now. You send Buford Jordan to the top of your picture. Penalty marker down. Hilliard back in the game after missing one play, but there's a flag. Houston leading Tampa Bay, and Seattle over Cincinnati in a surprise.
On the right side, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Steve Trapillo, Redskins inching closer to San Diego. You know, you talked about Kansas City. If they go on and beat the Packers, Minnesota will have a 1-game lead in the Central Division if they hold on to their lead over Atlanta.
A lot of scenarios. You got about 600 more to go, pal.
And time is running out for that.
Well, I'll stay tuned.
This is the fun time of the year in the NFL.
That really is. It gives a lot of people a lot of hope.
Second down and 15. Forcade drills it, and the pass is caught by Lonzel Hill. A 23-yard gain. And Hill, that slant pattern's been working for Fort Cade effectively today.
Well, and this is what Buffalo fans saw from Lonzel's daddy for many years, J.D. Hill, catching the ball over the middle in the tough area in the football field. And he almost got away for a big gainer.
First catch of the game for Lonzel Hill, who came in as the second leading receiver for the Saints. First down for New Orleans on the Buffalo 39. Play action. Fort Cade. Hill. Incomplete. He was covered by Nate Odom. But a similar pattern run on the left side this time.
But you saw the ball get all the way through his hands and onto his shoulder pad. And those shoulder pads are made out of hard plastic. And you, as a receiver, you've got to make the catch with your hands. Reach out and grab it with your hands, because if it gets to that hard plastic, it's going to go up in the air. And we already saw a turnover earlier in the game because of that.
You know, this leads me to remember what Jim Kelly and you were talking about yesterday, that quarterbacks would make great receiver coaches.
Well, they would, because the quarterback knows where he wants his receiver to be, and sometimes that's the toughest part of the communication process.
Second down and 10. Pitch goes to Hilliard. Runs into a cloud and knocked out of bounds after gaining maybe a yard. Scott Radisick and Leon Seals combined on that play. Keep in mind the Bills are playing without Cornelius Bennett, who has a sprained left knee, more severe than they thought. Thought he might even be ready at the beginning of this week, but no chance for that, and this is the fourth game he's missed.
And you got to believe that Marv Levy is looking forward to the playoffs and saving Cornelius Bennett, because he wants a healthy Cornelius Bennett. Oh, with the fur earmuffs. Isn't that nice? Big tough guy like that wearing earmuffs.
We could have used him. Third and 9. Fort Cade. Short of the sticks by plenty. And it was Leonard Smith who was not going to let him get to first down yardage, and that will bring up fourth down.
And Leonard Smith is telling him, listen, you got to be crazy, fella, thinking you're going to out-juke me and make the first down. One of the hardest hitters in all football right there, Leonard Smith. Another
player who started McNeese State in Louisiana, Morton Anderson, comes on. Keep in mind the wind at the backs of the Saints this quarter. Buffalo will get that advantage in the fourth quarter. This will be a 50-yard field goal attempt. And it's just under the crossbar. So Morton Anderson, who is 2 for 4 this afternoon, misses a chance to put the Saints back in front. And with 4:38 remaining in the third quarter, we're all even, 19 apiece. And the Bills all tied 19 all with 4:38 remaining in the third quarter. Morton Anderson just missing a 50-yard field goal attempt, and the Bills will take over on their 33-yard line. Thurman Thomas off the left side. Gets to the 37. Wayne Martin makes the tackle.
Bills are finding out just how tough it is to run against this #1 rushing defense in the NFL. Great pursuit all along the line. That time it was Wayne Martin coming down and making the tackle.
You saw 37 yards for Thurman Thomas. He came into this game second in the AFC, 67 yards behind Christian Okoye of the Chiefs. Second down and 6. Ronnie Harmon in now, running back. Kelly facing a blitz, dumps it off to Harmon. Harmon is down, short of a first down, but not by much. Vaughn Johnson and Pat Swilling on the stop will bring up 3rd and short.
Let's watch the block of left guard Jim Richer here as he comes out on the screen and really gives Harmon room after the reception. Watch as he locks on the linebacker, Vaughn Johnson here, and Harmon goes to the outside.
Kenneth Davis has come in the lineup, number 23, his first appearance for the Bills.
That's probably the hardest block for an offensive lineman is on the screen pass.
3 tight ends on 3rd and 1. Here's Davis, and he's going to be short. And a fine defensive play by Vaughn Johnson, who stormed in and prevented Kenneth Davis from getting the first down. And it's 4th down, and Buffalo will have to kick.
Vaughn Johnson is out of our screen to the left side here, number 53, but he's playing like a running back, looking for the hole, filling the hole, and then making the tackle. Big and strong as he is, Davis never had a chance.
Barb Levy said tomorrow we're facing the best set of linebackers we have faced all year, and the Saints have proven that out today. John Kidd will kick. Bobby Morse deep. Bobbles it, falls on it, and the Saints maintain possession on the 28-yard line. Well, don't forget, coming up, game 2 of our doubleheader, the Giants at 9-4 will try to rebound from their NFC East loss to Philly in a tough game in Denver.
And the Broncos, they're looking to keep that home field advantage. They've already clinched the AFC West. They got to keep winning, though, to send the playoffs all the way to Denver.
That was the Super Bowl matchup of 3 years ago, the Broncos and the Giants.
Denver's changed their personality defensively, though. They're more attacking. Wade Phillips, their new coordinator, has done an outstanding job.
First down on the 28 for John Forcade. Hilliard with Trapillo blocking. And Hilliard will bring it out to the 33-yard line. Gain of 5 that time, and making the tackle was Kirby Jackson, who pushed Hilliard out of bounds.
Hilliard's about 5'8", and sometimes he's tough to see back there. He gets out behind the big guard there, Trapillo, who's 6'5", almost a foot taller. Low center of gravity, a lot of strength. You see him pull away from that tackle from Leon Seals.
He made a good point. He is the smallest, as far as height, of all of the backs who have gained 1,000 yards in their careers with the Saints. 2nd and 5. Forcade. Pass is incomplete. It was intended for John Tice, the tight end. And that'll be 3rd down.
Now you wonder about the play selection for the Saints now, whether they're concerned that they only have 2 more minutes of this wind advantage. Coming up on a 3rd and 5, probably should throw it one more time.
Well, they had the wind at their backs, but they had a big miscue, not a turnover, but a miscue on the opening kickoff of the second half. Went under the legs of Atkins, recovered by the Bills on the 2, and they scored a touchdown. We're tied, and now it's 3rd down and 5 on the 33. Forcade jump pass. Eric Martin outraces the secondary and picks up enough yards to get into Bills territory. On 3rd down, he picks up 23 yards. And now for an NFL Today update, let's check in with Brent Musburger. Brent?
Dick, if things hold, the magic number for the Vikes to win a division title will be 1. Another defensive touchdown against the Falcons. Chris Dolman again sets it up. This time Tim Newton will walk in. Earlier it was Keith Millard. Easy here. Packers continue to lose big. If it holds, a Viking win or a Packer loss, and the Vikes will win the division. Now let's go back to Dick.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. First down for the Saints on the Bills' 44. Hilliard. Somehow he has gotten away from the first Buffalo defender every time he's carried the ball today, it seems. He's out of bounds at the 41. Pickup of 3 that time. Shane Conlon making the tackle. Here's the total offense this story. New Orleans trying to make the most of the wind at their back.
But as you said, Dick, he makes the first guy miss. Well, if you count guys out there, he's got 10 other teammates. So there's 11 guys on defense. The coaches tell the running back, hey, one guy out there can't be blocked. You got to make him miss. And Hilliard does it all the time.
2nd and 7. Forcade flips it to Scales, out of bounds. Scales, who comes in as the third tight end, incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
You know, watching this ball game in the type of weather conditions we're having, and watching Forcade move around out there, you know who he reminds me of? Fran Tarkenton. Just kind of making anything happen. His arm is a lot stronger than Tarkenton, but he is making things happen out here. That was close to being a big completion to Scales on the sideline.
And you know, Tarkenton was not a man of great speed, but had that mobility and maneuverability, and you're right, Forcade shows that.
Tarkenton was unique.
3rd and 7. Pass, picked off, intercepted by Nate Odoms. Buffalo gets it back. That's the 5th interception this year by Nate Odoms, who leads the Bills now in that department.
Well, like Tarkenton, Forcade will throw an interception or two. This is only his 2nd of the year, but this is an outstanding play by Odoms as he steps right in front of the receiver, Buford Jordan, and makes the grab with his hands. Odoms is having a Pro Bowl type of year of his own. That's his 4th or 5th interception of the year.
First turnover of the game by the Saints. Jim Kelly starts from his 42, and the pass, and James Lofton, the intended receiver, but wasn't anywhere near where that ball was thrown. And that'll bring up 2nd down with 56 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 19-19 the score.
And you know, if you remember back earlier in the game, the Saints blew a extra point try, and the Bills had an extra point try block, so things have evened out even there.
That was when we had a lot of white stuff cover the field. Now it's just cold and windy. 2nd and 10. Thurman Thomas caught. And another fine play by New Orleans linebacker Sam Mills. Sam Mills and Vaughn Johnson have to be as good as you'll find as inside linebackers defending the run in the NFL.
And it's really a well-coordinated defensive scheme where everybody seems to funnel the ball carrier to the 2 middle linebackers, Mills and Vaughn. A lot of talent out there, but the Dome Patrol, led by Sam Mills, having another great year.
Johnson has 8 tackles today. Following the loss, it'll be 3rd down and 11. Kelly going deep. Just past the outstretched reach of Don Beebe, who's got tremendous speed, and that will bring up 4th down with only 3 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Beebe has tremendous speed, but that was a tremendous throw into the wind. Kelly threw that ball on a line about 60 yards. But look for this fella, Don Beebe and Jim Kelly, to get better acquainted next year. Kelly feels that this one may be one of his main guys next year. Don Beebe likes his speed.
4th down, and John Kidd will kick it away. There is Bobby Borsteed. Morris on the fair catch. Makes the play at the 33. 27-yard kick. No time remaining, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter here at